So you want to get jacked, but stay lean. Well, let me tell you something. You've come to the right spot, because I used to look like this. Now, I'm sure some of you might be saying, but gee, you were jacked. But I wasn't lean. I mean, I was big enough that you can roll me down a bowling aisle and you can guarantee that my big ass was gonna get a strike. And that's exactly what you did by clicking on this video. So I'm gonna make sure I tell you everything you need to know so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. So for those of you who don't know, let's quickly go over what's a bulk. A bulk is basically a time where you can make the excuse to eat more calories so you get fat. So when everyone's wondering, dude, what happened to that guy? He must have gone through a breakup, or he should probably lose some weight. You say, nah bro, I'm bulking. Bullshit. That's just another way to keep making excuses because you're eating way too much, you're having way too many untracked days, and you're following the you gotta eat big to get big diet. No, that's exactly what I did, and that's not what I want you to do. I gained 60 pounds in 11 months, and that's why I make videos like this, to ensure that you don't make the same mistakes that I did. But let me address that. I didn't go through a breakup. I love Sam. I just ate way too much. And now that I think about it, she was the one feeding me. Nah, I just went to McDonald's way too much. So what I want you to do is think about a bulk just like a cut. It's a period of time where you're dedicating yourself to consuming a certain amount of calories, and in this case, it's a calorie surplus, where you're eating more calories than your body burns so we can put you in the best position possible to building muscle. But just because the word bulking is being thrown around doesn't mean you should just bulk whenever you want. There's definitely a time and place. So the first thing you want to do is get lean first. Hey, you're catching me at the end of my bulk. Been bulking for 16 months and I've only gained 30 pounds. And we still got some visible abs. And that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to get lean first, because if you can grab a handful of body fat, then you're probably not in the best position to start bulking. I mean, think about it. Why would you want to gain more body fat if you already have enough body fat that you know that you should probably be losing? It's only going to make the dieting process a lot harder and a lot longer. Take it from someone that gained 60 pounds in a short amount of time, and it took up to 8 months to lose all of those 60 pounds. And that was being as disciplined as you can be. So if you're not dialed in and doing everything you should be doing, that could take up to a year and maybe even more than that. So what you want to do is diet down to a point where you can at least see six-pack abs, visible abs. It doesn't have to be 6% body fat, but definitely the leaner you get, the better it's going to be to start from a low starting point as you work your way up. Because naturally, as you start bulking, you are going to gain some body fat. And while most people say the cut is hard, the bulk is just like the cut, because both are extremely important, because you're monitoring how much you eat. And if you don't watch how much you're eating, then you may be gaining too much body fat way too quickly. So to be on the safe side, get as lean as you can first before starting your bulk. And the best way to make sure that you don't gain way too much body fat is by tracking your calories. Now I'm gonna put this down slowly because it's a brand new scale. I recently got it because mine just broke on me. Or in other words, it died. They can be a bit sensitive, so you gotta treat them with love and care. Now I want you to listen up, because everything I'm about to say in this section is probably the most important thing you need to know to making sure you're doing the lean bulk properly. Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering, how much calories should I be eating? Unfortunately, I can't tell you that. I wish I can just say you should be eating 3,200, you should be eating 35, you need a little bit more, you need 4,000 calories, but I can't do that. I could give you an estimate if I knew a little bit about you, but you can do that right now with an online calculator, and I think it's the best and easiest way, and I've always done it that way. So once you get a rough estimate, because that's what it's going to give you, an estimate on how much calories you need to just maintain your weight. And obviously you will only know if that's true once you've done a little bit of tracking by weighing yourself. Once you've figured that out, you're at a really good spot. So once you know your maintenance calories, all we simply have to do, don't complicate this, all we simply have to do is increase our calories slowly, little by little. If we try and increase them too much, then we're gonna start seeing the scale move a little bit too quickly. And if we wanna do a lean bulk properly, if we wanna stay lean for a longer period of time while being able to build muscle and slowly see that scale move up, then we have to do it slowly, all right? So I would say start off with at least 100 to 200 calories and see what happens. That's the beauty about this. It's really a test. You do it, you see what happens. Give yourself at least 1 to 2 weeks to see the trends and see what happens, and if your body's going up, down, or just maintaining. If it keeps maintaining after 2 weeks, well, guess what? you can go up another 100, another 200, right? There's nothing wrong with starting slow than just shooting high. It's better to be safe than sorry, or not sorry, but then having to pull back later. That's the beauty about when it comes to bulking, is you can speed things up or you can slow things down whenever you want. But that's why we wanna get as lean as we can first to then slowly chip away as we go. Now we wanna talk about how much weight we should be gaining. In my opinion, 1 to 3, and 3 being red line high end, in my opinion, is more than enough if you want to stay lean, and especially if you're planning on bulking for a long period of time, which in my opinion, if you are trying to truly build muscle, you should be aiming for at least a minimum of a 6-month bulk and more. Anything under 6 months, in my opinion, you're just not really doing much. And for those that are successful when bulking for a long period of time, is because they've been able to maintain a lean physique. Those that aren't and are constantly doing the crazy bulks and cuts, it's because they gain way too much body fat on their bulk. So if you can maintain a lean physique that you don't have to do a lot of cutting, right? You can only do that whenever you want, and you won't have to do so much. And that's the beauty about a lean bulk. So my opinion would be 1 to 3, but really 2 pounds max within a month, all right? And the only way to know that is by making sure you are weighing yourself every single day, writing these things down, because that is your data. That is the facts. If you're gaining way too much weight, then you simply pull back some calories, 100 to 200 calories, let your body kind of come down, maybe settle, and then eventually increase from there. There will be a point where your body will adapt and it'll need a little bit more food if you want the scale to move, and that will happen, and that is normal. But don't be so trigger happy to just increase your calories. Go slow and track all of these things, okay? So I've told you how much, or I've told you how to figure out your maintenance calories. I told you what to do and how to increase them, and how much weight you're looking to gain every month. If you start gaining 1 pound every single week, which is like the typical bulk that most people talk about, 4 pounds a month, in my opinion, you're gonna be gaining a lot of body fat unless you're a beginner or you're a newbie to the gym. You can guarantee that most of that is probably gonna be body fat, and our goal is to maximize muscle growth and minimize the fat gain, all right? So always remember, slow and steady wins the race on the bulk, and if you can bulk for a long, long period of time while staying lean, then you're doing it right, and you're putting yourself in a better position to build as much muscle as you possibly can. I hope that was helpful. Check this out. I don't think I've shown you guys this. I was going to at some point, but I figured this is like the perfect time to show you. So this is my Hume scale. It's so nice. It's just like my other food scale. It's new. So we're gonna put that down nicely, but it's really cool because it's literally like a body pod, like your in-home, at-home, in-body DEXA scan. I said a lot, but that's basically what it does. It tracks your body fat, tracks your weight, it tracks your lean mass, it tracks your fat mass, it even tracks your percentages of muscle that you have on your left arm, your right arm, your trunk, your right leg, your left. So really cool data and measurements and information that I'm gonna be using during my prep. What I was doing my last prep was I was going to GNC every 2 weeks or every week, and I was stepping on the in-body and I was getting my results. But now I can do that from the comfort of my home, and I think that's awesome because I'll be able to track my body fat, I'll be able to see my weight, and more importantly, I'll just be able to see all my measurements, because one thing I'm really looking for is when I'm losing weight is while I'm losing body fat, that I'm not just losing weight from muscle and fat. I wanna make sure I'm just losing as much fat as I possibly can while maintaining or potentially even increasing my muscle mass. And I'll only be able to know that through some form of an extensive scale like this one compared to just your regular scale, it just says your weight. So it actually has an app. So you have a Hume app, and it'll be able to tell you all that information. Not sure if you can see that there, but it'll say everything there, and you can log it, you can keep it. Honestly, I think it's really cool. So I'm excited to be doing this. If there's anything you guys want to know about this, I recently just partnered with them, and I'll put everything in the description below. I'm hungry. I got to get some food in. Sorry, I had to make myself some food. Nothing crazy here, but some chicken and rice. But this brings me into the next most important thing we should talk about is enjoying the foods that you eat on a bulk. Let me tell you the number one reason why most people fail or succeed on any diet that they follow: adherence. It's because either it was simply too hard and just not fun for them to stick to, or it was extremely enjoyable and easy for them to follow. So it's not that you suck or you can't figure it out, right? Or these people found the secret. No, it's just that you're able to adhere to it more. This, for me, in my opinion, is the reason why I've been so successful in the past 16 months compared to the last time I bulked. I absolutely hated every part of it. I mean, it was the first time I ever attempted to bulk. So I went through so many different struggles, but I learned all of that by doing that, by trial and error, and I was able to apply it now. And I knew going into this bulk that I was going to absolutely crush it because of everything that I went through and all the things that I did. So I made sure I avoided them now. So one thing that I really want to prioritize right now is creating your own menu and enjoying the foods that you want to eat while bulking. No one wants to eat, for example, chicken and rice 5-6 times a day. No one wants to do that. That's not fun. But if you enjoy that and that's gonna be easy for you to stick to your diet and you don't care to just change your sauce on every single meal and it tastes different for you, then do it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If you can stick to it and you enjoy it, you will be successful. But if you don't enjoy doing that, there's another way. That's why I enjoy doing macros, because I create my own menu. And every single day, while I roughly still eat the same foods throughout the week, I still change it up from time to time depending on the foods that we have or if I'm craving something else. But this allows me to be successful and look forward to the foods I eat, because I promise you, okay, if you've never bulked before, listen to me. Once you start eating a lot of food every single day, it gets annoying. You almost don't even look at that same food the same. I go from periods where I don't touch rice, or I won't touch chicken, or I won't touch this because I got tired of it. So you need that flexibility to go in and out from certain things, because I promise you, you will get over it, okay? That's the struggle when it comes to eating a lot of calories or eating the same food for a very, very long time. So why not make good use of it and enjoy every part of it? Because we love food. We all love food, all right? We find a lot of happiness and enjoyment to food, so make sure you make it good, okay? Because at the end of the day, the most important thing here is gonna be your overall calories. Find the foods that fit your calories and just run with it, okay? So I hope you got something out of that, because that honestly is the most important thing when it comes to being successful and adhering to your diet. One thing I'm sure some of you might be asking or wondering, do I ever go out and eat out without tracking or have an untracked day? Of course I do, right? You have to be realistic too, especially if you're gonna be doing this for a long time. Adherence and longevity is gonna be important to keeping yourself mentally and physically in the game to be able to keep doing this long term. So I give myself one night out a week. Me and Sam go out every single week. We pick a place, we pick a spot, we'll go out and enjoy ourselves, and then I'm right back on my diet. And because I weigh myself, I'm able to monitor everything and make sure that everything is still going as planned. Now, if you wanna pre-plan and make sure you do some cardio that day, or you make sure you're just a little bit more active throughout the week because you know you're gonna go crazy and you're gonna enjoy yourself with some pizza that night, then go ahead and do that, just to make sure that you can kind of still stay where you want to stay, but you don't want to just have like a free-for-all where you're like, my night out equals I'm gonna eat everything in sight. No, you want to be smart. You don't want to be a jackass, right? Eat something that you don't normally eat or have at home, so then you can go right back to your diet. So I just noticed something that I quickly want to add to everything I was saying, because I don't think people really understand. This usually goes for more when someone's dieting down, but again, lean bulk, want to think lean, right? People really underestimate calories and when they go out to eat, and how much damage a full festival of just eating all day whatever you want, or just one big sitting of going ham, on an untracked meal can really do to all your week's worth of progress, right? Whether you're dieting down or you're trying to bulk up. So there's two things that come to mind that you can do to kind of prepare and just set yourself up for success. For example, if I know I'm gonna go out to eat tonight, and typically what I do is my pre-planning is usually playing some pickleball, being active, burning some calories, and also limiting my carbs and fat during the day, knowing that I'm gonna consume most of that in my last meal because I'm probably gonna have an appetizer or two with a meal and dessert, right? So knowing that that's already big enough, more than what I usually do, I'll pull back some calories so I can almost level myself out, right? And I don't really care if I'm not in a surplus that day or if I am just a little bit more, because for me, it's just the mental aspect of like, I could do this and then go right back into my diet, and I look forward to doing it week by week. So you could pre-plan on doing something like that, or what you could do is not make your calorie surplus so aggressive, even though aggressive is not what we're talking about today, right? We're keeping it slow and steady. But instead of going, let's say 200 extra calories, let's go 100, because we know that the 4, 5, 6 times night outs that we're gonna do throughout the month is already gonna be an extra surplus to what we're already doing, that those will already be enough to keep pushing the scale a little bit more. You see what we're doing? We're pre-planning with calories, knowing that we're already gonna be eating more on certain days, and it will end up adding up, right? So, for example, if you end up having 2 nights out and you already found a calorie surplus that's already moving the scale slowly, well, you can guarantee that those 2 nights out, you're probably gonna be eating more than your regular surplus. So that's gonna boost up calories a little bit more. And if you do that 4 times, 6 times, 8 times within the month, then it's gonna speed things up while this was already working in the first place, right? So pulling back here a little bit, knowing that this will already be enough to kind of push everything going. Something I just kind of thought was very important to mention. So before I let you guys go, there's a few things I quickly want to talk about before you're off making some gains. So we talked about calories, we talked about the importance of being in a calorie surplus, but we didn't really dive into macros. So for those of you wondering, what should my macros look like? I'm gonna make this pretty simple because I think people overcomplicate this way too much. When it comes to protein, that one, try to keep as consistent as you possibly can during a bulk or a cut. A good rule of thumb is 1 gram per pound of body weight. You can eat a little bit more or you can eat a little bit less. Again, it's a safe bet. Now, if you don't like consuming that much protein, it's hard for you to get that protein intake, you can eat a little bit less. If it's easy for you and you like consuming protein, then you can eat a little bit more. On a bulk, you're gonna be able to eat a little bit more of all 3 macronutrients. So that motherfucker, try to keep it as consistent as you can. Carbs and fat, these are the ones that you're gonna be able to play with during a bulk or a cut. Those are the ones that really should only be changing, but at the end of the day, whether one's higher or lower, the calories is still gonna be the most important thing. But just to give a nice balance, this is what we're aiming for. Carbs should probably be a little bit higher just because they're more anabolic and they're gonna help fuel your workouts and performance, and they're gonna help you get stronger. Now, your fats are also very important because these are the most calorie dense. So if you're struggling to get your calories up, things like avocado, oils, butters, nuts, seeds, fatty meats are gonna be super easy to increase those calories due to the fat content, okay? But again, play around with it, a little bit more carbs, a little bit less fat, or maybe a little bit less carbs and a little bit more fat, just to help you reach your calories. Everyone's gonna be different at the end of the day. And like I said, calories are gonna be the most important thing. The next thing I wanna talk about, and this is gonna be very simple, trust a bulk. If you're gonna do it, commit to it. Don't be the person that starts bulking and gains a little bit of body fat, or the scale goes up by 1 pound and you're like, I'm done. No way, I'm going right back into the cut. That's why you don't make gains. That's why you stay skinny, because you wanna live with a shredded 6-pack the whole time. You can stay lean and build muscle through everything we just talked about. So focus on doing it right, doing it slow, and you won't feel that way. Commit to the bulk, because this is gonna be the best way for you to build as much muscle as you possibly can, especially if you're younger. The more you can stay in a bulking phase while staying relatively lean, the more chances of you building muscle, all right? And the last thing I want to talk about, which I don't think I have to, is using that fuel into the gym and focusing on progressive overload to try and get stronger. That's what we're trying to do when we're doing the same workouts week by week. We're trying to get a little bit stronger every week, every month, because that's going to add up and equal to more gains. If you're getting stronger, then you can more than likely know that you're making some gains, okay? Now, for me, what I like to think about, and the exciting part on a bulk, is not just the more food, but the fact that I like to feel like this is the closest thing that I'm gonna feel like being on steroids, is consuming more food, because I get to use that fuel into my workouts, knowing that I have more energy to be able to push more. Mass is gonna push mass, so as I slowly eat more calories, as I slowly gain more weight, I know I'm gonna be able to get stronger, and that's the whole purpose of a bulk, all right? So I hope everything that you learned here, you can apply it to your lean bulk or to your next bulk. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate you guys sticking around, especially to the whole video. I know it was a long one. I know I talk a lot, but I try my best to try and help you guys because that's what I love doing. So I hope you guys stick around because the bulk is almost over. We're about to start prep, and I know it's gonna be an amazing year and we're gonna make some noise. I promise you that. So I hope you guys stick around. As always, like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Damn, I am tired of talking. My jaw hurts. And now I gotta go eat more. Bye, guys.